Cheryl Reeve's praise for Caitlin Clark's performance and rising popularity not only underscores Clark's exceptional talent, but also provocatively highlights the disparity in recognition between men's and women's basketball.
There are players on that played for the WNBA aren't good enough to be on this national team. There is no suggestion of that.
It falls short of expectations considering the scale of what we've experienced.
But it is not at the level that it should be at this point, given the magnitude of the events that we have had.
Cheryl isn't inclined to acknowledge Caitlin Clark. It's simply not how she operates.
You're never going to hear from us that, and we're going to hear a lot that you guys are going to talk about. You're going to ask me privately, are we going to tank for Caitlin Clark and like that? Like, it's just not how I would do things. If Glenn came to me and said, Cheryl, I want you to do that, I probably would step aside and say, let someone else do that. I don't believe in that.
According to Cheryl, Caitlin Clark's popularity might cause you to lose, though it doesn't affect Minnesota.
I think if you get there organically, and that's what you deserve, great. I am never going to try to be in that situation. Caitlin Clark might make you want to lose every game, but not here, not in Minnesota.
It's all around the league. But as a coach of the home team, there's going to be a lot of people cheering for that other side. I mean,
I'll get two.
How about one?
Not even one.
Minnesota's sellout crowds are a result of Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever making an appearance.
I mean, I don't know that I quite understand the question, in that everybody knows that the reason why our teams around the league are having sellouts are because Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever are coming to town. Angel Reese has impacted their attendance at the Chicago games, I suspect on the road as well. So what the league can do is be ready to capitalize on the moments. I think it's more of, it's the official announcement has not been made by USA Basketball. So it'd be premature for me to have any conversations about any player or anything until I see that announcement.
This is the kind of journey women's basketball undertakes to gain visibility and interest.
I mean, I think it's been happening, prior even to this team. This momentum, this wave, that we're feeling, it has been sort of this kind of journey for women's basketball to get the attention that it is, getting at this point.
Cheryl hopes the team will maintain the culture and level of success while continuing to compete.
I think we mirror what's happening, obviously in the WNBA. And, I think hopefully this team can uphold, sort of the culture and the level of success and compete. And but I don't necessarily know that this team is going to be, the team that changes things. I think we're continuing to, be on that upward trajectory, and this team has absolutely been a part of that.
The rookie class benefits greatly from being led by Caitlin, who is actively driving media engagement, interest, and business.
It's not surprising. I think it was important that, we valued ourselves in this negotiation. It's certainly helpful to have this rookie class, led by Caitlin, who, is sort of driving, the media, the interest, the business.
For Cheryl, this is the moment to capitalize on the opportunity and not sell ourselves short.
And so I think making sure that, I said this in the beginning of the season, what can the WNBA do? We can take advantage and not sell ourselves short. And also have a vision for the future, where this league is headed, like all pro sports leagues that we have seen, NBA, Major League Baseball, NFL. There is an evolution to a sports league, and we're in our evolution. This is our moment to take that next step.
This is Cheryl's perspective on second-guessing the decision to have Caitlin Clark as part of the USA team.
As you've gone through all the tumult and everything and the media exposure, is there any second guessing here about not having Clark on the Olympic team?
From me? No.
And that's what USA Basketball has pushed away now. Congratulations. You have literally pushed that away. Those people, we wish they would watch Breanna Stewart. and Taurasi, but they're not yet. That's the reality. You can wish it were, but it's the reality. And that, again, is the opportunity. You have all those sports writers coming to watch Caitlin Clark. She's the magnet, right? And then what do? Caitlin maybe plays 3 or 4 minutes, 1 for 2 in 3-point range, 3 points. But they end up writing about Brianna Stewart or Jewel Lloyd or Brittany Griner or whomever, right? And that's how you grow a sport. Caitlin would have been the conduit to that, and that's all gone now. And I think history will judge this so incredibly poorly about not growing the game when the mission, one of the mission statements of USA Basketball, is all about growing the game.
It's all natural. The same thing that you saw with the NBA is going to happen with the WNBA. And so I think I applaud if it's true, whatever elements are true. And I applaud, obviously, leadership and getting this done. Because the initial numbers that I heard, I didn't think did it justice, did our league justice. But if we can land in this space and even more, then I think we probably, that was probably a well done process. It's a combination of things. I think where the league is today, the attention it's getting, the players that are going to be on the court.
The excitement is not limited to the national team. It also surrounds several players on the All-Star team.
The excitement that exists for not only for the national team, but for some of the players on the All-Star team, the W, representing the W. I think all of that sort of converging at once, I think makes it incredibly exciting. And I have to give Phoenix credit, and I probably should have started in saying that Phoenix has done an incredible job with this All-Star game. And so hat off to Matt Ishbia and the way that he values the WNBA. That is on full display. And so owners that are here or key stakeholders that are here, you can see what's possible when you do it the right way. And so I think all of that being on display, I told our players, I'm always so impressed the things that they have done this weekend, for their own brands, so to speak. There is a lot that has happened here that if I go back to my first season in 2001, that I know it was possible, but I didn't know if I'd still be coaching when it happened. And so I am thrilled that I get a chance to have a great seat to, I think, probably the greatest spectacle in our league's history.
She led everybody in assists as they beat the Olympic team. Clearly, she stretches the floor. She's great with spacing. And she's also, in my opinion, a perfect Olympic or All-Star player, especially Olympics. All-Star games are a little bit of showing off. But the Olympics, if you're not the second, third best player on the team, and she wouldn't be yet, you need to be a facilitator, not a ball hog. I would argue with Caitlin Clark, she passes too much. Now, in the All-Star game this weekend, her shooting was off, but her playmaking wasn't. And so the women's Olympic team said, if we put her on the team, there is no question she's going to be a distraction. Well, you know what's a distraction? Her not on the team. That's what everybody's talking about. So and here's the other thing, is that I've learned with women's basketball as a whole, they're very much like men's soccer in America.
Not including Caitlin Clark in the USA team roster is a serious blunder.
This is a massive mistake to exclude Caitlin Clark from the Team USA roster. Massive. We're acting as if putting her on the team would be a patronizing act. Who are we kidding? I mean, she ranks in the top 5 in the WNBA right now in meaningful stats, leaving aside the marketing of it. This is not putting Tim Tebow on your team, okay? This is not Jeremy Lin. This is a top 20 to 25 player in the world right now who is struggling in some sense early in her career, but is at least still representing herself and her team effectively. And if we're to be honest, Team USA is not going to lose because she's on the team, okay? They've won 55 straight games. The last time they lost, I was 2. All right, I'm 34 now. They're not going to lose any game because Caitlin Clark's on the team. So if we're going to put the 12 best players on, and that's inarguable, I'm good with it. But you know what? That's not really what they did either. They put a 42-year-old Diana Taurasi on, who's inarguably not a top 12 player in the country. They also put Chelsea Gray on, who's been hurt and isn't playing at all this season. We've also seen, historically, them put on several rookies, so it's not as if that would be unprecedented. So it's not obvious to me what the plan was here. To me, it's pretty clear. There's some resentment and there's some jealousy, and you can hide behind, she's not a top 12
Told him
player.
I thought defensively we played, again, mostly well enough to win. our offense is putting so much pressure.
When I met with Glenn to kind of talk about really from the 2019 offseason to prepare for the 2019 season, from that point where we analyzed the coming drafts and we talked about free agency and what was our path, what was our best path.
Cheryl Reeve is likely assessing her team's defensive performance, indicating they played well overall, but possibly had areas needing improvement.
Kind of getting everybody, here for the first time. We practiced a couple times and play a game that we knew, was going to be loaded with talent, and we weren't good at what we were trying to get done defensively. But we also know there's really good offensive players on the other side. Sometimes we played great defense, and it didn't matter. And what did I learn about them? I don't necessarily know the answer to that just yet. I'm going to learn in the coming, weeks. What did we learn from tonight, and how can we use it to fuel us and be introspective about, buy into what we're trying to get done, and how we all can collectively do better. And, use tonight's experience to be able to, put us in a position to be successful as the last time when this team lost in 2021.
Reeve is referring to the process of assembling her team or bringing players together, possibly at the beginning of a season or after new players have joined the team.
Official announcement has not been made by USA Basketball, so it'd be premature for me to have any conversations about any player or anything.
Over 7, over 15. Look it, she's a rookie playing on the biggest stage, this All-Star game. They're probably going to break records as far as views. Attendance you already talked about. She's a rookie, 10 assists. Kelsey Plum was Gardner like it was Game 7. It's the All-Star game.
The rookie player is highlighted as performing on a prestigious stage, such as an All-Star game, which is known for featuring top talent in the sport.
So, yeah, I think some of the challenges, and I told a group, you certainly don't want to make excuses because we've all played basketball for a long time, but I'm big into muscle memory, and the muscle memory of a lot of our players playing for their existing teams that they just finished playing for. And then you come in and you spend 2 days, you're not going to be able to, to be able to instinctively get to those places if it's different than what you've been doing. And so we've got to very, very quickly replace, some things that you do for other teams. And obviously, I think more of a collective effort defensively. We had a lot of one-on-one, little help, little rim protection. We do not want to give up, 60 points in the paint, right? That is not the plan. And so that to me was our greatest disappointment, in that we were kind of in the my man All-Star game phase. Like it was a little bit better than, we played a little more defense than a normal All-Star game, but that's what it felt like. We come out and just played. We didn't come out and really compete to say we have a certain identity we're trying to play to. And I got to figure that out. I got to help them get there.
Reeve is acknowledging there were challenges her team encountered, which she may not have fully communicated to the group or players yet.
I think it's more of, it's the official announcement has not been made by USA Basketball, so it'd be premature. Yeah, I've had the great fortune to be a part of it when they were young. Stewie's first time when she was in college, and Asia when she was young and establishing herself, and it is incredible. And I just said this to Asia the other day. It is incredible how much those two, number one, have improved every year, have added something. It's incredible, the levels that they both play at. But more importantly, and importantly for this team, the leaders that they've become. I think the learning experiences at a younger age, right? And now the torch gets passed. There's no longer a Sue Bird, somebody like that. That there's a space there, and both of those players are, I think, prepared to embrace that, and that'll be important for our team's success.
Reeve is reflecting on her past experience, mentioning that she has been fortunate to be involved with USA Basketball from earlier stages in the careers of some individuals or teams.
Yeah, we wanted to come in here and compete. We knew we needed to make the Olympic team, help them prepare for Paris. So that was our goal. We knew they were going to compete, so we competed too. And then I think we were down 2 points at halftime, but then we started the third quarter really, really strong. And I think that kind of set the tone for the second half. And we didn't really look back. And then Enrique got on fire.
One of the greatest competitors, that the league or women's basketball has ever seen, or sports have ever seen. One of the all-time greatest competitors. It's a player that we have loved to hate as an opponent, but that means you are really, really doing something great. And, it's been a thrill for me to be around her all these years in this capacity. And I'm thrilled to have a chance to be a head coach and Coach D at this level. So it's a great honor for me. Well, of course, I'm super proud. I do have a USA Basketball polo on today, so I full on have shifted. Incredibly proud of that Fee is on this journey with us, and I've had a chance to have K-Mac a part of this in the pool play, so that was really fun. And now going against K-Mac, we're hopeful that she plays well. We're gonna treat her just like everybody else, right? That we're playing against. We want to play great. USA Basketball wants to play great. If K-Mac happens to do well, we'll be happy for her. This will be one of the single hardest things to concentrate on, is actually coaching the team, because of what's happening. It is one of the greatest spectacles, I think, in the history of our league, this game today. And so it's really exciting. And so I'm going to do my very, very best to block out all of that and all the wonderful storylines that are going to come from this. I'm going to miss a lot that's going to happen today, because I want to be so locked in on what we're trying to get done with USA Basketball. And we are looking for an understanding of how we want to play. We are looking for lineups. We are looking for, coaches understanding players and how to bring out the best in them. So we're trying to accomplish a lot today in all the hoopla that's going to be happening.
Despite being admired for their competitive prowess, Reeve acknowledges that this player might have been a challenging opponent to face.
No, I mean, they're really good. They have plenty of talent on that team. They were perfectly fine in the Olympics. I think if anything, it shows how good this league is. It shows how much talent is in this league. This is a great opportunity to, help prepare them for Paris. And, I'm going to be supporting them and cheering them on. I love the Olympics. I've loved the Olympics ever since I was a young kid, and they're going to be just fine. They're going to win gold and dominate. So I'm not worried.
Yeah. I mean, I think the challenge certainly is, the runway to competitive play, right? And so this game actually being a really important step in our process, having one more friendly over in London and then beginning pool play. And this is the first time that we've had this group. The team was just announced, the final roster. And so we're not quite sure exactly what we have yet, but we have to get to it quickly. The advantages that we have, or the advantage that we have, the largest one is our depth, the depth of talent. And so I am sure we want to use our depth. And so playing time, we're going to be able to be deep and play everybody. That's hard to do in 40 minutes with 12 players, but we are going to utilize our depth and trying to figure out best combinations, trying to figure out what we're trying to accomplish defensively, who pairs well together. That has to happen very quickly.
Reeve is emphasizing the high skill level and abundant talent of the team she's discussing.
And you have to look beyond what actually happened on the court. I mean, she is, again, responsible, and not solely, other players are too. But Caitlin is the mover. She is the most responsible for the rise in interest in the WNBA and the rise in interest in this All-Star game. So you have to look at everything she contributed here.
How do you characterize the level of competition you expect to see tonight? I mean, this is not going to be a standard All-Star game for people who tune in tonight, is it?
No. First of all, hello, Chris. Good to see you. Thanks for joining. This is such a great game for USA Basketball because of the level of competition, and we are going to experience adversity in this game. And I think just like the Belgium game, I don't think you can reach your greatest heights without experiencing adversity. You have to go through that first. So that this game, I think, is going to give us that, because the level of talent that exists on both teams.
Last question, Coach. Second row center.
Reeve suggests that to understand the impact, one must consider factors beyond just the events of a specific day or game.
Barry Bloom from Sportico, how are you?
Good, Barry.
Good. As you've gone through all the tumult and everything and the media exposure, is there any second guessing here about not having Clark on the Olympic team?
From me? No.
Against her Team USA teammates and bust their living, you know what, because Asia Wilson is the truth, okay? She should be on their team because it might not be fair what they do to the WNBA players. She should be on that team, but that's just me. That's just me.
But, just so thrilled with what we've been able to accomplish over the last year. This influx of interest, leading our league in sustainable growth, continue to chart this new path for women's professional sports. But, all that said, to open the season, we have seen our highest attendance in 26 years, repeatedly set viewership records. A lot of our teams are up triple digits in attendance, and we have 16 WNBA games this year that have averaged at least 1 million viewers, the most in any WNBA season in league history, and we're only a little over halfway through the season. Our app active users, we need those young digital native viewers. Our app active users are up 530%. Our DTC League Pass product is up 360% in subscriptions. So again, couldn't be more pleased with the progress that's being made. And one metric I think is particularly telling is All-Star voting, which compared to 2023 was up over 600%. Our fan growth is not just an increase in viewership, but is truly indicative of fan engagement. Our fans are engaged. They care a lot about what's going on with our players in the league. So merch sales just here at WNBA Live, I just got a report before I walked in the room, have already set an all-time record for All-Star merchandise.